Hey, what's happening everyone? This is James Stanley and we're looking at PAF pickups and the PAF sound. So PAF stands for Patent Applied For, and a lot of the early guitar humbucker pickups were known as PAFs, or Patent Applied For. They were in production mainly by Gibson, the first ones being in 1957 as seen in the gold top Les Paul that came out. The year after 58 you used to get the Les Paul Sunbursts. They had quite a thick neck in 58 and they also had quite plain tops, quite gorgeous guitars. After that we had the 59s, which had a more of a C-shaped neck and more of a flame, and then we had the 1960 Les Paul, which had a bit of a thinner neck, and they had these lovely pickups. They stopped making Les Pauls after that and they started making SGs, and they came back to making the Les Pauls in the late 60s. But the PAF sound is something that's been coveted by a lot of people, and for good reason. So let's have a look into it. At this point I'd just like to introduce my guitar. This is my Les Paul. It's from 2007. It's a standard with the 60s neck. It's got lots of things on it that don't make it look like a normal standard. It's got an ABR1 bridge. It's got R9 plastics. It's got obviously some PAFs now. It's got very sort of, it's very aged. I love this guitar. I love the sound of it. But the bespoke Pros on Eco 5, good sounding pickups. Very good when they're overdriven. Not as dynamic as I like sometimes. I've played some guitars with original PAFs, and the experience is different. So I've invested in some PAF pickups. So we're going to have a little look into that now. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel. We're on a really good journey. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribes. As soon as we do, we'll do a prize draw and the winner will get a Mosky Zen Drive clone. These pickups that I've got are from a company called CreamT. So I was at the guitar show this week and I went on a mission to get some PAF pickups. A few deals came along. Some were bare knuckle, the Mules. They're quite a well-known PAF recreation, and then essentially any PAF pickup is made to that spec. So there's the gauge of wire that they use when they make the pickups, the materials around the bobbins, the magnets. So they use something called Alnico, which is it's a combination of aluminium and cobalt. And it was a material that they used back in the day. One of the things about PAF pickups are that they were inconsistent in terms of how they were, how the magnets were put together and how the wire was spun on them. So we didn't have machines with automatic stops, so people would sometimes run them a bit hotter by running more wire around. Some would have less. I think the goal with the PAF pickups was for pickups to be humbucking, in terms of their function. But then off the back of that, they also wanted them to be clear and have that clarity that you get with your single coil pickups and your P90s. Would I do this mod again? Absolutely. It was quite an easy mod to do. I performed the modification in about 45 minutes. I am not a trained guitar modifier or luthier or anything like that. I'm not very good with stuff like this, so it took me not long with a soldering iron. A lot of the solder was already in the joints that was needed. It was a case of heating up the piece on the pots, pulling them out. The toughest bit was actually getting the cable through the channel from the neck pickup down into the cavity. What I tried to do was attach some wire, so I pulled it all the way through, attached some wire, and was going to pull it back, but the wire snapped on the way out. So I had to get my wife to help me, and she just held the pickup while I pushed it. Well, I held the guitar and she pushed it through. These are the CreamT GT57 pickups. They're based on Geoff Whitehorn's gold top, and Geoff Whitehorn is a British guitar player, known for working with Marshall. He's worked with some great bands as well in the past. But Geoff Whitehorn's a great player. Me and my best friend at school, me and my friend Justin, we were both guitar players and we were both obsessed with guitar. We go to the guitar show and we got given these Marshall demo CDs when they were bringing a new amp out. I remember it was all Geoff Whitehorn playing guitar on it, and the sound was killer, and he was using these like solid state amps, and the tone was just amazing. So, and it actually made me buy one of the amps. I think I bought an AVT 50 off the back of this. So yeah, he's a bit of an unsung hero, really. There's a cool video that I'm going to post just here about him. Here's the kind of sound. For me, it's about the feel. So. So yeah, it's quite expressive and quite a dynamic experience having these pickups. Now they're partially waxed as well, so normally the original painted applied for pickups didn't have a wax potting where they melt wax over the coils and all the sections inside the pickup to stop any feedback or any microphonic sounds, where these do have some partial, but it still sounds really open and really big, really acoustic. So if you want to make quite a dramatic upgrade to your guitar, you can do that with the pickups, and there's quite a lot of options that you've got. The attention to detail that CreamT go into is pretty insane. They've used special profiling in terms of sort of frequency spectrum analytics to find out how a pickup is sounding, and they've used that technology on the Pearly Gates and on Geoff Whitehorn's Gold Top, one of Derek Trux's guitars as well. And they make these really great sort of recreations, really consistent. They're all handmade in the UK, and they come in this lovely kind of packaging. And I got mine for a really great price. So that it's sort of like for the price of one, I got a set. Dead easy to install. Would I do it again? Yes, for the price that I paid. I don't think I would warrant paying full whack for a pair of pickups like that. Right now that would be like nearly £400. I got mine for about 180 for the pair, so it's a different kind of game, isn't it, when you're looking at those costs? But it has transformed the guitar. Another thing that I did with this guitar that transformed it, that I've got a 50s wiring loom from Monty's, and what that means is with my guitar, okay, if I turn the volume down, it still retains the high frequencies, and it's the same here. So within that you've got wax oil filled capacitors, you've got 500k pots. This guitar didn't actually, even though it's a Gibson Les Paul from 2007, didn't come with 500k pots, which is something that was quite a surprise. But when you look into guitars and what you've got inside your guitar, sometimes they're not actually at what they should be rated at. So that did make a big difference. So final thoughts really, this was a good value thing to do to my guitar. Keep your original pickups, because if you want to sell a guitar like this, you want to kind of keep the original pickups, and you can sell the pickups that you've bought. As it made it more playable, yeah, it's actually become more of a dynamic instrument, a little bit more like my P90 guitar, which is actually kind of more preferred. Usually on the daily I like to play the P90 one more because of the way it responds. They are quite reminiscent of a P90, so check them out. Try looking at some PAFs. They do have their own kind of sound. They are different to modern humbuckers, but they sound great, and for me it's the way forward. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.